Hey guys, welcome back from spring break. I'm sorry I'm not in class right now, but can still take care of our lesson for today, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. By this point, you should have already watched the lesson or the video on ratios, and now we're going to get started with our notes for today. So you should be started on the front page of your 5.1 notes. Looks like this. We're going to get started by filling in some of our key terms at the top. All right, so a blank is a comparison of two quantities. What we're learning about is ratios. So a ratio is a comparison of two quantities. There's three ways to represent ratios. Ratios can be part to part to whole, or whole to part comparisons. So let's fill that in. We've got part to part to whole, or whole to part comparisons. And what that means is how we're comparing the different numbers within the group. So if we take a look down here at the bottom, not the bottom, sorry, halfway down, we've got parts of this whole group. Let me get my pointer. There we go, this whole group right here of crayons. A part-to-part relationship would be comparing the red crayons to the number of blue crayons. For example, right here where it says 2 red crayons to 6 blue crayons, that's a part-to-part comparison for a ratio because we're comparing part of the group to another part of the group. A part-to-whole comparison would be down here at the bottom. 2 red crayons out of 8 crayons, or 8 total crayons. So we're comparing part of the group to the entire group, or the whole group. So we have a part-to-whole comparison. A whole-to-part comparison would be 8 total crayons compared to 6 red crayons. That would be a whole-to-part relationship. Let's take a look here. A ratio can be written in 3 different ways. Those 3 ways are through a fraction. That's the first way we write a ratio. That would be an example like 1/2, 1 to 2. Another way we write ratios is in words. For example, 1 to the word 2. And a third part is with a colon. And a colon is 2 dots like that. So we have 1 to 2. It should be a full dot. Well, that's hard to do. There we go, 1 to 2. Some more examples of words that we can use are down below here in the same example with the crayons. 2 red crayons to 6 blue crayons. We can see we have 2 red and we're comparing them to 6 blue, which is the same thing as saying we have 1 red crayon for every 3 blue crayons. See, 1 red to these 3 blue, 1 red to these 3 blue. Also 3 blue crayons per 1 red crayon. So we just kind of switched this relationship and we're using the word per. Another key word or set of words we can use is for each, like 3 blue crayons for each red crayon. Another is out of every. So 3 blue crayons out of every 4 crayons. That's a part to whole relationship. So we have 3 blue out of every 4 crayons, and we're comparing these 3 blue within this whole down here. It's kind of only half the group. And then 2 red crayons out of 8 crayons. So 2 red crayons out of a total of 8 crayons. These are all some key words we can use when describing ratios. All right, let's continue down with example 1. We're going to move down the page a bit. We need to make sure that we can see this picture right here. Example 1, part A, we're writing ratios. Let's write the ratio of pennies to quarters. So I see in this picture I've got some pennies, some quarters, and some dimes. There's a dime. But we're only looking at pennies to quarters here, so I'm going to kind of ignore those dimes for the first one. If I want to write a ratio of pennies to quarters, let's count up our pennies. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pennies. Let's see if I can erase those little dots. There we go. So 6 pennies to how many quarters? This one will use words. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quarters. So 6 to 7 is how we would write that ratio. Part B, write the ratio of quarters to dimes. So we're only looking at quarters and dimes here. Again, we know we have 7 quarters, right? We already counted those 7 quarters. So we can write in 7. This one I'm actually going to do it in fraction form because remember up above, we can do fractions, we can do words, or we can do colons. So 7 quarters to how many dimes? Let's take a look. 1, 2, 3 dimes. So this particular ratio would be 7 to 3 or 7 over 3. And write the ratio of dimes to the total number of coins. So we're doing the dimes, which is part of this group, and comparing it to the total group. So this is a part to whole relationship. We know that there are 3 dimes, so we'll go ahead and write 3. And this one I'm going to do a colon. And let's count the total number of coins we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So a total number of 16 coins, and this ratio is read as 3 to 16. Okay guys, we're going to move on to part 2 of this lesson. Flip your paper over and open up the 5.1 part 2 video. We're going to do examples 2 and 3 together.